Hey, yo, welcome to Top Trio. This is Rick Smith. This is our first episode that we're doing for Top Trio on our YouTube channel. So if you got opportunity, go down below and subscribe. We're very excited about bringing content on YouTube. We're trying to get back in the video entertainment aspect. We fell away from that a while back, but right back on it. Top Trio is trying to, I guess, take over the world. So tonight, I have one of my favorite people in the world. His name is Jose. And before I let him talk about who he is and what he's about, this dude is the party animal, throws the best parties. Him and his crew, GNF, just the North Carolina crew, man. Much respect to y'all. What's up, Jose?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm happy to see your beautiful face as usual.
Well, you always get it for free.
Yeah. So one thing great about Jose is he lives on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast. So only time that we have opportunity to talk is at 3 a.m. So when I get up to go use the bathroom at 3 a.m., I always have a nice message from Jose. And then that turns into 6 a.m. and then I have to go to work. So, but it's always a pleasure to have something to wake up to. I love to do to death, and it's great conversations. I enjoy the conversation I have with you, man, every morning.
Oh yeah, no, it's always good too because half of I always forget the time difference because of the fact that most people that I still talk with on the East Coast, if I message them at night, they respond later, at a later time. But you're like the only person that you'll respond right away, and it never registers that, oh yeah, it's like 6 a.m. over there, because you and I, like you said, we get into this like full drawn out conversation. Like last night we went deep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like meant to be deep. It was supposed to be just like a little funny comment, and then we went into a full conversation. Then it's like, well, wait, why are we doing this right here?
3 o'clock in the morning, folks. I'm in New York City. I have to drive back home at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up to 7 texting this guy just wide awake. But we'll get into that later. But I wanted to bring him on because the one topic him and I talk about probably more than anything else in the world is AEW and just wrestling in general. That is an amazing shirt with Joey Janela. Somebody at the bottom, you got Blanca too. An amazing shirt. That's amazing. I actually want to get it's Cammy and who's the other person on that shirt?
Oh, Sheeta.
Yeah, that's the one that I really want to get. But I heard they're not selling no more as of last Wednesday or something.
No, they extended it.
Okay.
I think it's next Wednesday. Because right now they have the one that Moxley wore in his match with Archer, which is Moxley versus Guile.
Guile, yeah, that was tight. I was like, the fact that they're doing that collab and Capcom's on board, I'm not gonna go into detail how I feel about Capcom, but that's a what up. That's a what up for them. Yeah, that's a whole other.
That's a
whole day talk. But yeah, so with Jose, I have a question actually, because I have a certain feeling about wrestling right now, but I want to get your opinion on the state of wrestling in general. Just not AEW, but the state of wrestling as a whole.
So as a whole, I mean, I know right now it's like pretty much starting to become a meme in its own way, but like right now it really is a great time to be a wrestling fan. Because, I mean, we all hear it. The Forbidden Door has been open. For people that don't know that, basically, years and years ago, it was always said that, promotions from all over the world would never work with each other because one reason or another. But then you have AEW, Impact, New Japan, and AAA, they're starting to work with each other.
Yeah.
And like literally there is something for everybody. It doesn't matter what type of wrestling you like. If you're like one of the Cornette fanboys and you like the old school style, like what is it? NWA Power?
Yes.
And that, like, to be perfectly honest, even that is great. I grew up with like Lucha Libre, but like NWA Power, man, like a lot of those matches are top quality. And then, again, you get like I just said, Lucha Libre, you got AAA, CMLL, you have, Strong Style out in Japan, and then you have, I'm not trying to diss it, but you have WWE's product,
Yeah.
which it has its highs and lows.
Yeah.
And then you have AEW, which they're in their second year now.
Yeah.
They really, really have they've hit their stride. Whether people love them or hate them, they have made an impact.
Yeah.
Definitely. Impact. Yeah, they have definitely made an impact. Remember there were so many people that were like, oh, they're not even going to last a year. And look, they're over here. We literally just had a New Japan belt change hands last week on AEW.
What's the odds?
In front of an audience after a year of no audiences. Like that says something.
Yeah.
Because New Japan is very protective of their belts.
Very. Oh, I've seen that firsthand through you. You kind of introduced me to Japan wrestling, so I've seen how much work goes into a belt transition in that organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing for me, I fell out of wrestling 15, 16 years ago. Once The Rock left and it was turned into this new era and Cena came, I just felt that I just wasn't too invested. I just had to move on. It just kind of and I'd say probably anime probably took over that spot and kind of got into the cosplay community and doing all this other stuff. And I just forgot about wrestling. And then 2019, Jonathan, the movie destroyer on here, and my boy Steven brought me to my first wrestling event I've ever been to. And that was AEW Dynamite in DC, the very first show. And I have never heard people so loud, so pumped up. The energy was amazing. It was good to see Jericho because I'm like, at least I know who Jericho is. And it just brought me back to, I started having these feelings, and then the dark after matches were great. And just one thing I give AEW props is their wrestlers are just regular people.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk to them online, I've met them in person, and they always respond and they always make time for you. I'm not trying to say other promotions don't do that as well, but I've seen it more in AEW. And for me personally, I've only been WWE and WCW back in the day, and sprinkle a little bit of ECW in there. But now I'm watching everything. And, I'm totally amazed by how much is going on. And one thing I love is that outside of WWE, all the other promotions, their storylines are going across all the promotions together. It's not like, okay, if I'm going to watch Impact or NWA today, it's not going to have an effect on Dynamite tomorrow. And it has a humongous effect on Dynamite. So, and I saw that with you've seen it now with GCW. These storylines are transcending promotions and building stories in other organizations. I absolutely love it. So if you don't watch other promotions, you're going to miss out when people jump out at you. So
we're getting a wrestling shared universe.
It's the best time. I've never seen, just crossovers everywhere, man. It's so much for me to take in because I'm like, now I'm trying to learn. And it seems like New Japan Wrestling, which you got me into, it seems to be that fold is what's creating, is the center of the universe. It seemed like because people wasn't in WWE, they went to New Japan. And then now they spread out to so many different locations and promotions that everybody wants to be friends again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love it, man. And thank you for, even though I had the AEW experience, you really pushed me on New Japan Wrestling. I watched a lot of Moxley matches. I went back to watch the Kenny matches and the Jericho matches, and I watched stuff live too. So it was just seeing that stuff come to fruition and make an impact on the wrestling world is just great.
Well, I'm glad I could be the gateway drug for you for that.
One thing you definitely keep me honest, so I appreciate that. So, like I said, it's what a ride right now in the wrestling community. It's a great ride. So, but I want to ask you some questions too, because you're one of the most knowledgeable people I know when it comes to wrestling. You definitely know your shit. So we're in the state of wrestling right now, and AEW has these belts, and you and I, we talk about quite frequently. And these belts really don't change hands. They really don't get a lot of love, especially on the men's side. On the women's side, probably a little bit more. But I want to ask you, who can take these belts from these particular people in your mind? Because AEW has a hell of a roster, probably one of the best put together rosters I've ever seen. But I'm worried that there isn't talent to beat the people who actually have the belts at the moment. So I'm gonna start off with the big one, and I'll work my way down. And this is hard because this is the belt collector, Kenny Omega. Is there anybody in AEW right now that can go pound to pound and actually beat this man in the ring?
Okay, so this is a little bit of a weird loaded question for me because first and foremost, regardless of how people feel about Kenny Omega in the ring, he's good. He can do some stuff that most people can never be able to do. Whether whoever's watching this, whether you believe it or not, hey, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But Kenny, like, take for example the long drawn out story that they're doing with him and Adam Page. You know, the whole leading up to the belt. If they actually do get a one-on-one match, to be perfectly honest, Page has to lose. Yes. He has to lose because of the fact that you want to make Page this super babyface, this babyface that you are rooting for. Doesn't matter if he's drunk, cowboy shit, or whatever. Like, you are rooting for this guy 100%. So he's got to lose that first time. And, you know, because again, tragic hero, everybody loves it. But with that being said, anybody else on the roster, I mean, there's like wrestlers that I could say, and it's kind of like my fan casting, whatever. No, the fan booking. Sorry, fan booking. You know, you got people like I'll go ahead and say it. You got Jericho. You got Moxley. Yeah. You got Jungle Boy. Pac. You know, both Phoenix and Penta. Yeah. You got a whole bunch of names. The problem is, how do you pick one and make it viable, make it believable, and make it you know, like, okay, this is what fans want. And like you said, they have a roster. Not only do they have a roster, but again, because everybody is like working together now, how do we know that it's going to be somebody from AEW that beats them and takes that belt? It could be, you know, it could be somebody from New Japan, like, you know, freaking Naito and Sonata. They just lost their tag belts last night. So, and Naito apparently has been one of the guys from New Japan that definitely wants to come over and work at AEW, do some matches there. So it could be him. It could be Nick Gage. I mean, come on. Yeah. AEW just pissed off a good portion of their fan base by letting Matt get that belt. So maybe Nick Gage goes after the belt. Because remember, like a week or so ago, he had outright challenged Kenny. Yeah. But, you know, if I were going to put, you know, long story short, answering your question, I would outright say, this is going to be like a little bit of a cheat. Go for Andrade. It, man. Shoot. I would say Andrade. This is why. Wow. This is actually why. Because of the fact that Kenny also has the AAA belt. Okay. So if Andrade were to somehow beat him and take the AEW belt, that is like the biggest slap to the face, because it's like, oh yeah, Kenny, you know, you have the AAA belt, you're not doing anything with it. Look, I told you I'm going to get that belt from you. But before I take the AAA belt, I just took your AEW belt.
That is, I didn't think about that. Andrade, what I saw from last week, I can vouch for that pick. He's ready. He may not have the ring ability, but his persona and what he's going to bring to AEW, he's due for big time. Yeah, he's due for it. His charisma, the way he looks, every way he presents himself, you know he's going to be successful. He presents himself in that way. Oh man, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that. I mean, from a promotional standpoint, you would want Andrade as your face. I mean, And he has that. He has everything he needs to get it done. I'm just like you said, I can't think of anybody in this promotion right now, to be honest, that can actually beat Kenny pound for pound in the ring. Jungle Boy is probably a good one, because the Jungle Boy match is probably Kenny's best match that I've seen in AEW. Like,
that match surprised a lot of people.
Yeah. Props to Jungle Boy. If he ever sees this, my God, I was there live. I have never seen wrestling like that. Like, Jungle Boy put on a show, and it was no way you could tell. I think the kid's only like 24.
Yeah, he's young as hell.
And then, and this is my only issue with AEW. He had that match, and then now they kind of buried him again, so he got to work his way back up. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with AEW, because it's like, do you keep giving him primetime matches, or do you kind of showcase the other talent? And hopefully the Rampage shows allows them to kind of do more with the roster, because like I really like Jungle Boy now, and I think that he's a crowd favorite. And I think if I had to get somebody the championship, and Jungle Boy, just for the fact that he gave Kenny a show. Yeah. So
like, actually, speaking about Jungle Boy real quick, I kind of think they are gonna do something with him and Christian, because after the match with Hardy, when Luchasaurus had him Christian on the shoulder,
yes,
Jungle Boy was looking at him kind of weird, and even JR kind of made a little reference to it, and I was like, oh, y'all thought I didn't hear that? I heard that. I'm paying attention. I'm taking notes. And to me, see, that's the one thing I know people are like, oh, AEW, it's just nothing but, WWE people. It's like, of course, because they are veterans.
Yeah.
This is how you use them.
Exactly.
First off, Christian and Matt's match, way
holy
better
shit,
than
dude.
anybody thought it was.
I hate to keep using shit, but holy shit, dude. That match, dude, I know I needed this match, but wow. They both got in shape for it, and they looked fantastic. Exactly. Man, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna point out that, like, they went in, they pulled out everything, because let's be realistic, we all know they're much older now, their bodies have gone through so much, but they pulled out what their bodies are allowing them to be nowadays. And it looked great.
Yes.
And see, now the great thing about that is that feud, that match, even if it's just like a one-off match, that didn't affect anybody else.
Nothing.
That was literally like, hey, all you fans, you loved them when you were kids. Guess what? We have them here. We're giving you a match for them. And that match could have easily been on a pay-per-view card.
Yeah.
It could have been on a pay-per-view card, but no, they gave it to you on Dynamite. Well, I mean, what was it? Fighter Fest, or,
Yeah, they got a Fighter Fest.
But but like I was saying though, AEW, regardless of what people think, they know how to use the veterans, because now if they do run with Christian and Jungle Boy, even if Christian beats Jungle Boy is about to have some amazing matches with it.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna build his stock. And so sorry to go on a little tangent.
Man, please.
But that's definitely why I could see him in contention for the belt. Yeah. And again, the thing is, like, there's so many, like you've said already, they have so many people. And I remember back when the pandemic really, when it was on lockdown and we were really starting to talk about it. And one of the things we kept pointing out is they have a good roster, they have a great roster, but they don't get to utilize everybody. And, you got to figure out something. And thank God they did not do a 3-hour show. They just went for, Rampage starting next month?
Yeah, next month, yeah.
So hopefully, like you said, that will alleviate some of that oversaturation, and get, even if they do like old days where there's a core set of wrestlers that are on Rampage, there's a core set of wrestlers on Dynamite, kind of like how Dark and Dark Elevation, both of them, they already have, it's kind of like each one has its own roster. I know people would say, well, NXT, same thing. It's like, yeah, we get it. It's not new. It's not a new thing, but it does actually help. It does help like alleviate all of that. Like, okay, we got like 50 people, we got 2 hours. How are we gonna get all of them in? Like, crap, we can't. You got enough shows, you can do it. I mean, the quality of the YouTube shows, Dark and Dark Elevation, like it's really starting to get to where like, yo, you could show this on TV.
Me personally, people may think I'm weird, and I'm gonna say this, and you can put me on record. I enjoy Dark Elevation than I do Dynamite. I love Dark Elevation because it's some of these are dream matches. Like they just throw random matches in there, but most of the time it's name versus name. There's like 2 or 3 wash matches, but it's like Dark Order versus this tag team. This tag, the Varsity Wands versus Private Party. Like these are like names. So it's just crazy how I'm just sitting here. I'm like, Elevation really brings it. Dark has its up and downs, but Elevation, like Paul White is doing an amazing job with these bookings because these are matches that I can watch. It should be on Dynamite, and it's unfortunate. At least the great thing now is that they're taping Dark and Dark Elevation before and after Dynamite when they're on the road. So at least they have the stable there to create quality matches. So that's pretty fun, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to the next. So this guy is probably one of my favorites, and I'm so happy he's in AEW. I love the guy to death. It's unfortunate what happened to WWE, but I'm not gonna turn this into a WWE bashing vlog, podcast, video, whatever you want to call it. I absolutely love everything about Miro. Best man, God's champion. He is God's champion. He changed the belt to match his liking. I love everything about this cat from start to finish, and I'm so happy he's here. He can create his own storylines. But I want to ask you, this dude is so dominating in the ring and so amazing. He literally beat the shit out of Archer. Like, it wasn't even called for how bad he did Archer. That wasn't even right. But, excluding like Moxley and Hangman and Kenny, who were kind of like in that heavyweight championship area, who do you think should beat Miro, or who could beat Miro in the ring?
Cage.
Who? Cage?
Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Reason why is okay. So when I was younger, I always remember pay-per-views. You had your belt matches, and then you had like your grudge matches, but you always had like one. I guess you call it like a super heavyweight match. Where it was like the biggest, bulkiest dude going against another. And I know that's weird because like in the 80s, they were all big and bulky, but I'm talking about like the ones where they're like, oh my God, it's the unstoppable force versus the immovable object type thing. And it's like, to me, like AEW right now, they have the ability to do that because they got Hobbs, they got Cage, they got Miro, they got Archer, they got
Cesar. What was it? Cesar?
Cesar Bononi. They also have the dude that's rolling around with
Nick.
Oh god, Nick Colorado.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations to Nick. He just got he just engaged his girl at Maryland Championship Wrestling this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
She's a ref, and he came down for the Varsity Wands match, and then proposed to his girl. I think right after the match.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there'll be a video up in like, next day or so. But no, but yeah, you have like all of those big powerhouses. So if Miro has this belt, why not do that? Why not make it to where like, yo, you want Miro to be dominant, then have him take on all of these big dudes and just kind of make it like, just let them like, Kong versus Godzilla. Just let them fight. Let them fight. Let them go. Trust me, the fans, especially the audience, they will eat that up. They will eat that up. They will because you're just seeing like, yo, what the throwing homie across the way. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. When he had his matches with Darby Allin, they were good. They were really good. Because Darby, I mean, homie's a trained stuntman. He can make anybody look good because he's willing to like kill himself. But at a certain point in time, there's like that, what is it called? Like the suspension of disbelief, where like yo, if you're having Miro fight all these dudes that clearly look a weight class smaller,
Yeah.
how much longer before we're just like, yeah, we know he's gonna win this one.
Yeah.
Like, even, you know, like the only way he's not winning this is because homie can cheat or something. But when you have, like, honestly, if not Cage, Hobbs, you get them in the ring, it's one of those things where you're like, oh damn, who's winning?
Yeah, exactly. And I that is a good pick. I think Brian Cage is probably the most talented heavyweight person they have. Like his agility, his technique. He's an amazing wrestler. Like I mean, he literally looked like a butterfly. Like I told my family, like he has like tippy toes because it's like he moves so quickly and he's so agile. And he gets his leg up so high. Everybody, you can laugh at my background, man. So I'll do intermission soon to fix that, so people don't laugh at me even more. But my pick, honestly, and this is what I'm kind of hoping happens. So, as you all are aware, AEW is going to New York City in September. You know, kind of a shot at WWE in a sense. They sold out within 30 minutes. Great job. Khan family, great job. Marketing, promotions, great job making that happen. This is a big show. As you know, a lot of wrestlers are from the NY area, up and down New Jersey, New York, you know, further north. A lot of them are from the area. So there's a lot of things going to happen there. And I'm waiting for the hype. It's probably going to be the loudest and probably the biggest spectacle we're probably going to get AEW. But I think it's time for the New York wrestlers to shine. And I would really like, if they set this up, I would like Kingston to fight Miro, and they give Kingston the belt in New York. They would, can you imagine? Can you imagine how loud, like the internet would probably break. It would just be so loud and everybody in New York would lose it and he just closes out the show.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, yeah, you give him that belt in New York.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Jesus. I mean, that the only thing in my opinion, outside of like the rumored who's been signed, Kingston winning in New York and Proud and Powerful winning the belts in New York.
So there we go.
That right there, like, yo, you're breaking the internet.
Yeah, so that right there we go. And so we'll go ahead and go into the two subjects. So that's my next one. Who should take the tag team belts off of the Young Bucks? And Proud and Powerful should do that at New York as well. Give the people what they want. They paid money. This is your biggest event. Make New York the most trending thing on the internet, that all the belts went to New York wrestlers outside of the championship belt, and just make the internet. And just, I mean, you would dominate the city of New York like forever. It is yours now. It's no longer WWE's, and it's yours. And Proud and Powerful is my answer, and I'm sure it's your answer too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the next question.
The only other tag team that I would say that I could say outside of Proud and Powerful, hands down, Phoenix and Penta.
Long overdue.
Reason why, during quarantine, let's be real. Proud and Powerful, they were there. I mean, dude, the street fight with Best Friends was still like one of the best street fights we got during that era. Then, you know, Penta and Phoenix, I mean, dude, they have history with the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
And, you know, every time they pull off the mask, like, trust me, they're not forgetting.
Oh, yeah.
They're not forgetting. So, and then it's like, you do that, and it would be a great
everybody see my butt. Sorry. You talk about butt. Sorry.
And so either one would be great, because then, like, if Proud and Powerful wins, they already have a feud building with
FTR.
FTR. And honestly, like, FTR wasn't always, I never really always liked them all that much, but man, now this feud that they're having is so good. Like, I am actually invested.
I'm mad that they lost the belt so quickly, because they came in and they they felt like the best tag team. They felt great. They looked the part. And the fact, the match they have the Young Bucks, my goodness, like, what's his name? Was it Dax Wheeler? What's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he put his body on the line. He literally flew over the ring out of bounds. He literally jumped over the top banister, flew over the ring straight to the ground. This guy, they put their bodies on the line for that match, and they put on an amazing show against the Young Bucks. And I was so mad that the belts changed hands. I was like, come on, Young Bucks, I don't need the belts right now. You don't need them.
Yeah.
You don't need them.
Yeah,
everybody knows you're the best. Like, you're the vice president. I understand what you're trying to do, but come on. There's other people. There's other tag teams. And let me say this. This is the last thing I'm going to say about tag teams. Hands down, best tag team division ever. And I wish every single tag team in the division can get the belt in AEW. I love every single tag team. There's not a tag team that I don't like in AEW. I love every single one, and I wish them the best, and I wish all of them could win gold at some point. I have nothing to say. I love it. And it's sad because it's like the singles matches are kind of like, but tag team matches, like, there's so many that I love, and it's like I just can't pick one that, Proud and Powerful is probably that one, but it's like I love Private Party. It's not their time yet. I love the Acclaim. I love everything about them.
Dude, they are so good, man. Like I remember when they came out, and he's doing his little freestyle, and people are like, oh, he's a John Cena knockoff. Yeah. And then they finally let him say what he's saying. And you're like, whoa.
I'm like, every episode, I'm like, yo, time out.
Yeah, it's one of those like, how somebody getting fined for that.
But I don't know if you saw what happened. Moxley went on the podcast about that. He said that he made sure during the match that he took extra hits, that he hit them a certain way, and he made sure that they felt it. So because he was not prepared for what they were going to say, and neither was his wife. And he took offense. His wife said, I really don't care. But he said he made sure that they were hurting after the match.
I mean, dude, that one, I will, like, don't get me wrong. They're entertaining. First and foremost, they're very entertaining.
Yes.
But that one particularly, I'm pretty sure there's no like real life heat between them. But man, that one, he really went in on Moxley, and you're sitting there watching it, and you're like, this kid's gonna die.
Yo, Moxley's facial expression, I was like, oh shit, it's about to get real. Like somebody's gonna really get hurt.
I was like, he's about to die, because Moxley really didn't look like he knew that was coming.
Yeah, the other time they overstep is the cheerleader on Varsity Blondes. Bruh.
Yeah.
Yo, they overstepped. They brought the bread out, and I was like, y'all just don't have no cut card. Yo, they go in on Biden. They go in on Trump. They go in on the cities. Like, they are so built for the heel industry in tag teams. Like, it's just built for it. Like, I love it.
100%.
I absolutely love it, man. Get them riled up. So, moving on to my last topic for belts. And this is one that I'm like, I wish there was more belts for me to talk about, but unfortunately in AEW, there's no belts to talk about except 3.
Trios belts, just give us the damn trios belts and let Death Triangle have them. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, well, they had us at that tease for that intergender belt, and that I was kind of hoping that maybe Kenny and Rio was going to do. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I think things would probably went a different
I agree.
way.
I think the pandemic kind of made them have to alter some plans, and whether those plans are completely gone or it's like, well, wait, we just got to wait and we'll bring those out. Because I remember you and I would talk about it all the time, and we were reading stuff online about how, that belt, there's been rumors like since day one of the trios tag belts. There was even something, a rumor about like apparently like a hardcore belt.
Yeah. Oh, that's long overdue. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the IGWP belt. Just the hardcore belt.
I know, right?
Pretty much. Oh man, so get into this belt. So probably my favorite women's wrestler next to Ty Conti at the moment, but Dr. Britt Baker, the MD. I hope I did the M right. I'm gonna go back and watch this, but
it's even a little like DMD.
You're watching Disney Channel, you know. So.
Oh my gosh, she's got to do that at least once on camera.
Yo, the fact that she had Creed on there from Cobra Kai that one time, like I love everything about Britt Baker, man. The pandemic did her justice, and she changed her whole persona to be what AEW needed to move forward for the women's division. And now starting to build up. Now you even saw today, you brought to my attention. We talked about Amy Sakura is coming back. You got Rio back. Thunder Rosa is officially all elite finally, so I'm happy about that. But Britt Baker, right now, who do you give the belt to over Britt Baker? She's like the hottest thing right now. Like, AEW pretty much. Like, women's division is kind of still a project, a work in progress.
Yeah, they're getting there. They're getting there.
But like, I don't think I would take her belt away anytime soon. But who could actually take it and still run with it?
Well, my pick is going to be your favorite wrestler of all time. You're going to go ahead and say Swole. No, I'm kidding.
Swole gonna be out of a job. Swole I don't see Swole making it to the end of the year, man. I'll be totally honest, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Honestly, I like the fact that, like, just real quick, Swole, I don't hate her. As a matter of fact, I think she's great on Dark, because I think that's where she's been able to really work on her stuff. But in regards to the whole Britt Baker thing, like, I'm not like that big of a fan. I don't hate her, 100%. I don't hate her. But I'm just like not that big of a fan. But I will say, her having the belt makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
I definitely think she is not losing that belt outside of one of the big pay-per-view events. Yeah. So anytime she has a match on a Dynamite, she's not losing that belt. It's not.
No, it's not.
It'll be extremely close, but she always, holds on to it. But if I had to pick, honestly, I'm looking out the window for inspiration. Honestly, I'm gonna have to give it to Rosa just because that's the feud. That's the that hardcore match they had.
That's women's match.
Yeah,
that's women's match.
And that's like their feud is basically the AEW women's division version of like The Rock and Stone Cold.
Yeah,
that's basically what that is. And like, trust me, like, people were hella excited that Thunder Rosa is now officially signed with AEW. She's got a fan base. Like, right now, Britt is the hot commodity. We all know it. So it's hard to fight against what the fans like. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna run with it. But I would say Rosa. I know we've talked about it before, but like, man, they need to get some type of other belt for the women's division. Like,
they did that crappy metal thing for the tag team Royale thing they did. That went nowhere. And poor Diamante, like, her partner, they did work, and they didn't get nothing in return except to sit on the background. Like, they didn't do anything.
Yeah, so like, they definitely need something, because the only problem, and again, it's kind of like what we were saying at the very beginning of all this, it's like that oversaturation. You got a lot of women there. You got a lot of women that are showing potential. To be honest, I'd also say that by now, had she not gotten injured, Anna Jay would be heavily in contention for it, because Anna Jay, she was putting in the work. Her matches had started getting significantly better.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, granted, it's more comedic than anything else, but like on BTE, Dark Order is the most over thing on BTE, and her always being there, being like the voice of reason for a bunch of idiots. Like, dude, people were eating that up. And
she goes at him, Stu Grayson, man. She was like hell, man.
So that's why it's like,
Anna Jay could be one.
She would have been in.
I actually saw her this weekend. The thing about Anna Jay is, she looks healthy, she's ready to go. But her issue, she lost so much weight. She is so tiny. And I'm just like, she can't get in the ring being that frail. That's how I look at it. Chris Statlander right now, too. Chris Statlander, she lost like all her weight. And I'm like, it looks like it's affecting her wrestling. Like, she doesn't have that same power and ferocity as she had before. You know, I know she still has the leg injury, but I'm just like, Chris Statlander is somebody
just got to readjust, you know, like
because Chris Statlander is who I thought was going to win the championship before she got injured. Because I thought she was trending like Chris was the hottest thing in women's wrestling, in AEW wrestling. Like Chris Statlander was beating everybody, quality matches, but I am excited because you know what's coming. Because after the Nyla Rose match, you know who's the next contender, right? Ty Conti. Ty Conti's position number 2. It will come out this week. And, dude, they're going to slice this one up. This has to be an all-out. Don't put this on Dynamite. Yeah. Don't put it on Dynamite. Pay-per-view, I need Conti versus Britt because, man, their styles are going to match up so well. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, and Conti, dude, like, my God, she massively improved all around. And like, when you think about it and kind of messed up to say this, but, you know, something you have to keep in mind, like when it comes to wrestling and women's wrestling, she has the look.
Yes.
She has the look of, like, you know, especially with like her background in, what is it, judo?
Jiu-jitsu. Because it's Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, I think, yeah.
You know, like, you know, she has that overall look. It's like she can kick your ass.
Yeah. And smile about it later.
Yeah, and smile about it, and you're just like, I don't know whether to be mad or cool with this, because like her match at like what was it? The match she had with Sheeta, like, damn, dude, that
match she had with Nyla. She actually had with Nyla during the women's tournament. Holy man, Nyla let her just whoop up on her for a long. I mean, I'm surprised Ty lost. It's Nyla Rose though, but Ty was giving Nyla the business.
Oh yeah, no, like honestly, like it's just a massive improvement. I mean, but even with that being said, I'd still have to give it to Rosa only because Britt and Rosa's feud, nothing is gonna top that in the women's division right now. Nothing gonna top that. You know, the only other person that probably could take the belt from Britt, but then you got to kind of figure, would she be a face or a heel? Would be a Deeb.
Yeah, the thing with Deeb is, I think she's next to get to be signed to All Elite. You know, neither her or Rosa had the belt anymore in NWA. So I'm like, they're both probably looking to exit out. AEW is their ticket. Deeb is, I would say this right now, Deeb is probably the best women's wrestler I've probably ever seen. Deeb is so talented. Like what I saw her do the other day, she slammed one girl and wrapped the other girl in an arm leg wrap and flipped the girl and was doing a suplex pin. And she literally had somebody suplex with a 3 count and had the other girl's arm wrapped around her leg for the a submission hold. I'm like, I said, hold up. Like I've never seen something like this. Deeb was really amazing. Last thing to say about the women's thing is, I know we brought up Ty Conti. She's an amazing person. I'm happy she did the shout out for you. Sorry I missed the first second of it, but she was excited to do it. Great person. Always smiles. She's actually, you know, even though we got her, you know, her photo op, she sat there and talked to us for a while. We rapped. She was so nice. And Alan Angel's girlfriend was there too, and she was really nice too. She wrestles as well, and Negative One was there. But Ty Conti, she just always upbeat. She was so nice and sweet to myself and my daughter. And, you know, she was like, "Oh, wish you were here, Jose."
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. Yeah. I was like, ah.
Yeah. So, and this is another thing before we go to our last topic, because, you know, we talked about this. I know I go to a lot of AEW events, but when they come to Nevada or they come to California, I'm on first class ticket. Come to see you, bro. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
We're gonna be in the front row. They're gonna see us on TV. You're gonna see in the news later. 2 people had to be escorted out of AEW Dynamite taping. Or
I I don't even care, man. It'll be well worth it, dude. When it happens on your side of the country, we are so like, I'm dropping the money, man. We're gonna do a big that weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back, everybody on Top Trio. We're wrapping this up. This is Jose, my great friends, very knowledgeable in the wrestling world. Brought me on to a lot. Appreciate you, bro. So, last topic is, I don't know if you've been on a rock or if maybe you were out busy this weekend and you didn't hear the news. I'll wait till I see it, but it seemed like things are trending in the direction to where two big names going to be coming to AEW. And if that really happens,
Stone Cold.
What happened? The Rock and Stone Cold, yeah.
The Rock and Stone Cold.
Yeah, so everybody, The Rock and Stone Cold come to AEW. You heard it first on Top Trio. Breaking news. It's happening. Oh my God. And they're going to wrestle too. And they're not gonna be part-timers. They're not gonna come here and wrestle once a year or have a loud pop and go back to movies. They're actually gonna wrestle on Dynamite, not even pay-per-view. No. So oh man. So yeah, that was a good one. So I don't know if they're gonna go by their slave names. They can go by actual different names, but Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. The CM Punk one I'm really shocked about. But how do you feel about all this?
So I'll be honest, I was never a super huge fan of either of them.
Yeah.
And I know every time somebody says that, it like the world stops, like, nani. But it's more so a thing of like, I just really was never like a super huge fan. I know how great they are.
Yeah.
So to be perfectly honest, even with that all being said, I mean, this is huge. Anybody, it doesn't matter what promotion you follow, what you feel about wrestling. I mean, this is getting reported on just about any news site. I've seen like comic-oriented news sites commenting on this and reporting about it. Movie news sites are doing the same thing. Like so it's something when you have people outside of your universe talking about it. I mean, obviously this has been people have been wanting this people have been wanting CM Punk back in wrestling pretty much since the day he left. So
that dude got fired on his wedding day, dude.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Wedding day.
But that, and then Daniel Bryan, pretty much once he started talking about how he wanted to go wrestle in Japan and this and the other, everybody started like, oh, wait, he wants to go wrestle in Japan.
Yeah.
What promotion right here is working with Japan, AEW. And honestly, dude, like it makes sense. It makes so much sense. You bring them in. I mean, yes, you're going to have so many haters, but then those haters are still going to watch.
Yeah. The haters are going to say, I'm not watching that crap. They got all WWE wrestlers over there. They just doing the same thing WCW did. And they'll be the first people to watch it and not tell nobody, hey, I watched that episode. It was all right.
Yeah, exactly.
The inner child is like, oh my God, I didn't see him Punk,
Yeah, especially too with the rumors being that Punk might show up in Chicago. First off, that happens. I mean, I know earlier we were talking about Kingston getting a pop. Punk shows up in Chicago. I mean, that whole city shutting down.
You can't only see my arm. I had to close in when I edit the video. But I got goosebumps thinking about him just showing up at All Out. Like that's just.
And then Bryan, Daniel Bryan, the rumor about what it's called Grand Slam.
Yeah, it's the New York show.
Yeah, the New York show, and
that show just. I'm gonna tell you, like, that is the show. If anybody had to get to an AEW show, I'm sure that's a show you probably need to go to. That is going to be. I am sure they're going to. That's the time when you just all your ideas and all your planning. This is the payoff. There's no second. Oh, let's go to North Carolina tomorrow and fix this. Well, let's go to Texas tomorrow and fix this, or California. No, this is it. This is the end game. This is the rest of your company forever. This is the one you have to get right. No botches, no electrical issues. It has to be perfect.
No sparklers.
Yeah, no. Yo, Tony didn't even pay those folks.
I wouldn't either. I would not have either. I'm just being real. Like, dude, you have one job.
Yo, props to Kingston for not breaking character and breaking the story. I know, right? I was like, Kingston is the best, man. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, I wasn't really there for the CM Punk and Daniel Bryan era. I kind of came in the last 2 years. I knew who they were. I knew who CM Punk was because all my friends were like, yeah, CM Punk did this. And anytime anybody sticks it to McMahon, I kind of try to watch the videos. And then I know him through Tommy, Jason David Frank, because he wanted to fight him and, inside the cage. Never transpired and got it working anything.
Hey, AEW is all about crossovers, so it might happen now. I'm just saying.
Dude, let me tell you. you get Jason David Frank to wrestle CM Punk. Well, guess what? AEW is doing MMA matches now, so you never know.
Exactly. Like, it's possible.
Yeah, but I'm excited because I know what it means for the wrestling world. And like I said earlier in the show, and I'll kind of wrap this up, and you kind of said the same thing. This is the greatest time for wrestling outside of the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars. This is like, I have never seen so many promotions. There's so much wrestling content on YouTube and throughout the week. Like, anytime I can go on YouTube, I can watch somebody's vlog. I can watch wrestling matches. GCW, MTW, AEW, Impact, WWE, just New Japan Wrestling. If I ever want to watch wrestling, I can put it on right now. Even right now, Fight TV, they got the GCW Homecoming one right now.
Yeah.
So part 2. So, it's a great time. And I know people in WWE are not happy. I know people in AEW are not happy at WWE. But people need to realize everything's going on right now is good for the industry. The industry is booming. People are like, AEW, WWE is losing money. AEW has to front the cost for this and this. Doesn't matter. If you're a wrestling fan and you're enjoying wrestling for what it is, I know a ton of people that came back through the AEW. I know a ton of people.
In here, yeah, I know so many people that they were like, I stopped years ago, but all of this brought me back, and I'm digging it. And the good thing is that it's not only bringing them back and getting them hooked to AEW. Yeah. It's they come back in and then they're like, well, wait, what else is out there? And then you show them GCW, you show them New Japan, ROH, all of these other ones, and then next thing you know, they're watching everything too, or they pick and choose what they want to watch. But the thing is, they're out there looking now, and that's at the end of the day, marks or not, that's what the industry needed. The industry needed it, and this is the boom. This is the thing that's gonna make sure that wrestling stays relevant. I mean, think about it. Wrestling stayed relevant through quarantine.
Yes.
By giving us something to watch, even though there were no audiences, it was still something
to watch.
It helped a lot of people.
There was live TV was damn near impossible during the pandemic. But the only things that stayed constant, and I say this all the time, was wrestling. Wrestling stayed constant and gave you something every week, and even on Saturdays and through pay-per-views, and even sometimes on Fridays and other platforms. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I love it for everybody. I love it for all promotions. I'm not going to bash anybody. But it's like, I'm literally trying to watch everything. My wife was like, oh, who's this guy? I came on AEW. And I'm like, oh, that's Nick Cage. And then, of course, GCW had their match this week with Nick Cage and Mark Cardona. And I was like, this is the guy who's going to fight Jericho on Dynamite. She's like, holy crap. She was like, yeah. And Jericho's doing the Painmaker. So I'm like, okay, So it's just like, what'd you say?
That should be a really good match.
Oh, it's gonna be bloody.
Yeah.
So of course MJF is hilarious. I guess this kid, he's probably in high school. He posted on Twitter over the weekend, wow, I'm so excited for Nick Cage versus Jericho. I wonder who Jericho's gonna fight next in the Labors of Jericho Part 3. MJF is like you stupid MFer. He's like, he's not winning part 2.
It's like there won't be a need for a part 3.
I was like, he said no. He's like, nobody MFer. He's not gonna beat Nick Cage. And I was just like, MJF is just. I feel for him because he ain't gonna be here for a short time, man. Once his contract is up, I guarantee he's in WWE, man. I just feel like he's ready. I just feel he's ready. He wants more, and I really feel that AEW, he's a great heel, but I think I hate to say this, and I don't want to take my AEW. I think in WWE he would be so beneficial. He's what they need to take that next level. I think he'd be a perfect heel over there, and just his interaction, him tone it down a bit because they're PG, but I think his interaction is what they need because they need somebody like that in WWE. I think it.
I can see that.
Yeah, he will be big time over there just for the fact people know who he is now, and then WWE will feel like they cashed in on a great product. And I think, like I said, it works for everybody. It sucks he will leave AEW, but he's been very vocal about his money flow when his contract is up. And he even went on Kingston and said, "Don't speak for everybody at Kingston. You talk about WWE because I'm not that person. I'm not worried about my money." So. But I enjoy it. Thank you for coming on, man. I'm trying to get you on for another wrestling thing. I'm trying to do this consistently because, as you know, with Punk and Dan Bryan coming soon, things are going to start trending. And I don't know, people don't know, AEW 2 weeks in a row has the #1 show on cable. So
yeah, two weeks straight, #1 on Wednesday, which is usually always like one of the more difficult days.
And NBA was on.
Exactly. That's the key thing, that it's like, yo, NBA's on. Like I remember when they were having to adjust their days, for NBA, right?
Yeah. NBA. They had to adjust their days because of the NBA.
And people were like, oh, see, no, this is all bad for them. This is all bad. Look, now the NBA is still going on, and they beat them 2 weeks in a row. And their momentum, they're just keeping it going. Because they finally figured out how to advertise for their next shows. Because I remember it used to be one of those throughout the week you'd see like one match get announced like every day, and it's like that's nice, but like just give us the whole card. Let us see.
Give us the whole thing, And I'm here for the ride, man. I'm enjoying it. I love you, AEW. Thank you for being nice to my family. Thank you for giving me content every week. Thanks for being just great, down-to-earth people. Thank you to all the other promotions as well who feed into that, who don't feed into that, still give me content as well. Wrestling is amazing right now for everybody. The opportunity, people know wrestling's fake. It is what it is. But there's some times where you have a line that says wrestling's fake, and then you have this line over top of it.
Yeah.
Where, I'm telling you, there's some things, guys, that's going to make you squirm if you watch wrestling, especially if you get out of the WWE and some of the AEW stuff and you start watching the GCW stuff and the New Japan stuff, your mind's going to start thinking other ways about how wrestling may not always be fake.
Yeah, I mean, it is true, because you're right. We all know it's fake. We do. We're not stupid. That's like going to watch a Marvel movie and thinking it's real.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But that still doesn't take from the fact that there's certain things that they do that you cannot fake that. Like I always love how people are like, oh well, if you get thrown off the top rope, you can land a certain way and it won't hurt.
Man.
It will always hurt.
I always tell people, I said, if you ever want to see, you ever question if wrestling's fake or not, it's a couple of things you can probably watch. Mankind versus Undertaker is one. You can watch Kenny versus Moxley at Full Gear is one of the most gut-wrenching matches I've ever seen in my life. I literally was there and I couldn't hold. I almost threw up. It was so bad. And seeing Sammy, even though it was on board to the bottom, seeing Sammy get one-winged angel, probably about 3-4 feet in the air by Kenny Omega. I mean, come on, like.
Yeah.
These dudes are putting their livelihood, their lives and stuff on the line, man. You got to respect it, man. Say if you go to the circus, you go to a basketball game, sporting event, these guys are putting on the show for you, man. They're putting their bodies on the line. Show them that respect. So
sure.
Cool. Top Trio signing off. Thank you again, Jose, for being an amazing co-host. Like I said, we'll get you on again, man. Much love to you. This is Top Trio signing off. How's that go? Tip your waitress, kiss your mother, get home safely.
Peace out. It was good to be here.
Take it easy, man.